I'm very tired. Very, very tired. But we're here. We're here anyways. We're a little bit late. I'm sorry. I was debating whether I was even going to start stream, if I'm being honest, because of how tired I am. I'm very tired. And I'm very ready for sleep. But I'm here. For context onto why I'm so tired. I mean, let's ask first the question, is there context needed? But no, again, part of me is wondering how long stream is going to go today, but we're here anyways. Basically, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and I am feeling it. I took a nap after work. That only lasted maybe an hour. So yeah, we're gonna figure this out though. We're gonna see what we're gonna do. I figure Roblox, because if nothing else, it's easy enough to just get into and vibe and whatever. And if I pass out, cool. No MetaQuest. I am not using a VR application. Stop lying to yourself. Oh, I gotta figure out what Tycoon we're doing, because let's be honest, I play nothing but Tycoons on this game. Also, I will say though, there's a couple of Tycoon variants, jeez, if I can English, that I'm really not a fan of. One of the big ones being like this type where they stack everything on top of itself. Excuse me. So let me get the tunes going. Get some music. We get music, and hopefully that'll help to make things not as boring. Yeah, there we go. I should probably not let the lo-fi play though, but I also don't care enough. But no, like these ones just kind of suck. The loop of, oh, pick up thing and then deliver thing, and no. Not a fan. So even anything decent looking. Again, right now I'm just very tired, but I figured streaming is something that I should do. Why, I couldn't tell you with how tired I am, but we're here anyways. Okay, where is things? Hi, I'll take money. Money is good. Where in the world are... Okay, I love how they start you facing the obstacle course as if that's going to be of any use to you. That orange over there, I believe so. Can't even run. Spinny wheel. Let me get in and then I'll spin the wheel. Nope. Or is it that orange? Orange is one of the few taken, of course. Of course. What colors do we got? Here's purple then. Oy vey. No, I mean, in all honesty though, the reason I did get so little sleep, I would say is arguably a pretty good one. Just let me, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's a Roblox thing if I've ever seen one. But no, I went with my YSA ward to whatever it's called. I went up to Salt Lake. That's just a Minecraft texture. That's just straight up Minecraft textures. Large rock. Ah yes, exactly what I want. Well, so the fact that this is where money is stupid. Anyway. How do I collect my cash? But it's not just going into my... Ah, it's over here. I see. Well, so the fact that they have rebirths required for stuff. I mean, I didn't have enough money regardless, but still, you get the idea. Also, I don't know if the music is just loud because I'm tired or if it's just loud, period. What even... I can't get anything else to like help with that. Stairs, sure. Mythist, not amethyst, mythist. Ah, yes. I see. Oh, is it a mine? Mine path. Metals. Coal is clearly a metal here, else we can get our spinny wheel, I suppose. Oh, I swear if I get lightning power, I'm gonna cry. 1,000 gold. Cool. Rebirth progress tracker. You tried to rebirth, but you weren't ready to rebirth. You need a lot of stuff. Like, you know, can I get anything to help me with gem conveyor? Ah, yes, jump all the way down these things. How about you just let me actually, you know. Also, what does that say? Like 176 things I need to buy, yet I can't buy anything to help me. Okay, here we go. Digital resource mine, conveyor, there we go. I guess I can go for the sulfur mine. Is that gonna start popping stuff out up there, or? Ah, yes, there we go. I'm looking over here behind my camera for you guys to try and find like the next upgrade, or not the next upgrade, to see how much money I have. Only issue is the fact that you can't find anything there because the cache is over your player character. Again, I'm looking right here to try and find my money, but it's right here, which I mean isn't necessarily, oh, so I keep doing it, and I hate it. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's more just like, why do you do that? Like, why do you cause me to do this? It's annoying. Again, I'm still oh my goodness. Sparkles and fire. I'm assuming these are literally just effects. Yep, trails. Gotta love it. Ugh. I will say, the layout of this, like, it looks interesting enough. But again, some of these things are just like, why? Ah, yes, very necessary. Much need, great wow. No, like this, obviously it's not like the modeling here is the best I've ever seen, but this is like a pretty good looking Tycoon, but some of the decisions on the actual gameplay side of this, yeesh. Also, what was that? You've got all the buttons. Check in the mining lab. You might be able to Tycoon. Uh-huh. Sure, bud. It's the armory. The answer is it's going to be a bunch of weapons because PvP. You know, the thing that I go to, the thing I'm clearly going into a Tycoon for is PvP. Which I get it most of the time. You do have a bunch of, you know, literal children playing these things and they want to be able to beat the crap out of each other. But at the same time, why? Okay, I should probably save up to get these things, which I don't know why there's so much rebirth required stuff here on the base level stuff. But you know, okay, so it's 3,000 is the lowest amount I need. Also, I love how they don't have the natural resources here that I'm also currently getting. Yeah, 176 objects in your Tycoon. It's like, sure, you want me to have a bunch of money. That's how all Tycoons work. I suppose this would probably make the most sense because that's multiplicative on every resource instead of just getting another resource that adds money by itself. Sure, we can do this. Jeez, you can't see anything. This is how those mobile games wish they played, is you are unable to see anything unless we allow you to. And we're just about able to get... There we go. Voila. I also love how there's like just randomly strewn about these 5,000 cash ones. It's like, no, really, you should spend Robux here. You should give me money. Ah, yes, large rock with purely aesthetic pickaxes that you just shove into this thing. Exactly what I want. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna get this manager hut thing. I highly doubt that it'll actually give me anything worthwhile, but maybe. I'm assuming these exposed ore things aren't going to be anything. Or at least I'd be very shocked if they're anything. But regardless, we can get the manager's hut. We can get chair and desk. Cool. Is there anything up here that's actually worth getting? Deep ore station. That sounds useful. Oh, it's up here that these things are. Cool. Hey, look, it's a hole. So great. Can I go into the deep ore? How much was this thing? Yeah, it's only 2,500. Okay. Mine shaft. Nope, I don't quite have enough. I see a button over here. Is it going to be useful? Absolutely not. Let's see if this gonna deep ore conveyor. That's what I'm looking for. The conveyor to therefore allow me to actually, you know, get anything. If I'm also gonna need to buy, yep, all of these. Okay, our first resource starts at 3,500. Let's, sure, I'll spend the 700 I have on a worker's tent. You don't even get the full tent, you just get the frame. The roof is extra. I love it. Here, that's, no, that's the button. Let's see if this is playable. If we, there we go. Also, is this cheating? I don't know, technically. The other thing that this does is saves my eyes. Jeez. I also don't know if these are being adjusted to the income amount that you have. Okay. You and you. I love how they immediately start trying to make you pay for something else, even though you clearly can't because you haven't rebirthed, if nothing else. Maybe we get this, I guess. We increase our conveyor speed. Also, what does it mean, wall? Oh, it's probably that this thing goes higher so that it catches stuff instead of stuff just yeeting itself off a cliff. What was 4,000 for this? Or gem conveyor is probably what I'd want, not the mining table. It's still 4,000. Because this tells me that maybe we'll actually want to use that. Ugh. Gem conveyor. We need the crate, I'm assuming. At least that'd be my best guess. Unlimited cash. Okay, how much Robux? How much? So that's 950. Obviously I'm not gonna actually buy this. I'm just curious. So that's over $10 in Robux, which in all honesty isn't okay. Can you please remove this stupid? Jeez. Granted, in all honesty, could be worse. I mean, given the fact that this is asking for 50, which is like probably, because 400 is $5, so you know, could be worse in all honesty. Could definitely be worse. Oh, these are categorized as rebirth ones. Okay. I see now. I see now. Let's come up here just so we can... well, if I can get that, that'd be good. But the roof, it doesn't do anything. How about chairs? Let's go here. How far out should I zoom? Also, could you imagine going through this and like having no money and then going through all the negative ones and see if it'll actually like, respawn me? Respawn my stinking character, jeez. But then it's just like, you're in debt now. Obviously, I don't quite think they have something like that set up. But it would be funny. At least I think it'd be kind of funny. Amethyst and sapphire. Sapphire is the most expensive. Or the furthest along the path. There we go. Ta-da. Why is it just... why is there just a tiny one here? Do they expect me to get the table first? Like a pleb? Tisk tisk. Game Pass or not required for Rebirth? I would sure hope not, because that's what we like to call pay to win. Or, in all honesty, just kind of pay to play. Which again, sure, if you want to do that, go ahead. Good luck getting anyone to actually play your game if you do that, though. Okay, does the wall go higher? Yep. That was probably not worth it. Okay, 6,000 is probably the most sensible thing here. Maybe 3,000 for the wall thing, since we have stuff already. That's my most expensive thing too. Maybe $3,000. Give me my moolah. Oh, come on. I swear, if it's still good. Jeez. Just, yes, allow me to not allow you to actually gain things from this. Because clearly that's what you're looking for, correct? Venom Shank. I thought that was shark for a second. I'm like, what poor soul is trying to sell me a vacuum? Okay. Let's come up here. It's not this little. There's supply office. That might be what I need for this. Mine shaft. This. It's just okay. That was not worth it. Hidden treasure. Wow. Locking DLC behind a paywall. I see how it is. I'm so glad that I purchased this thing that will now be forever telling me, yo, you should pay me money. Anyways. Head to the mining town. There's a rebirth store. Okay, I am gonna do this, and let's take a look at the obstacle course after. I don't know, do you think this is playable? I think this is how the game was intended to be played, right? With your character taking up like 6 pixels of the screen. I wonder if you can like jump past the like death collision area. Like if you're able to somehow jump past that and you just fall for a while. If I got the gravity coil, but I didn't actually pick it up. That would probably be advantageous for a... yes, that clearly did so much. This might help if we're going to a obstacle course. Boing. So enhanced, enchanted, that's what it says. Mine obstacle hobby, because why would we say obstacle course? Anyways. You get a 1x frenzy sword, or 1x frenzy and a fabled sword. I swear if it doesn't put me right back here, I'm going to cry. Of course. Of course. Exactly what you want. Well, I'm going to go and, Alright, that's 1,000. I'm competent. I know what I'm doing. I know how math works. At times. Is now one of those times? Apparently not. Yeah, like if it was gonna have me do the topaz, I was gonna cry. Anyways. I think the most annoying thing about trying to go to this obstacle course is just the fact that these things are so far away and there's not an actually easy way to get over there. Invite friends. No. I don't have friends who play Roblox. What do you mean? Whatever. Whatever. If you're gonna be a pill, I'm just not going to try. Outfit security room. What? Okay, I'm wanting to get the stupid. It's probably the desk. I want these things. Because they'll give me money, maybe. 6,000 for that. Which was it for the multiplier down here? 15-ish. Oosh. Wowza. Herb. Get me up. Allow my character to get uppies. Yeah, it would probably help to actually get the last thing here. 4,500. The one kind of annoying thing is the fact that with these sorts of things, a lot of the time they'll just random floating platform. Very necessary, I'm sure. Also, what if I just stand in the direct center of these things? Ah, you can't quite do it. But I was somewhat close to doing so. But no, one of the somewhat annoying things about, yep, what I tell you, is that they'll make it so you can't get certain upgrades. Not necessarily resources, but upgrades, unless you do whatever, which, like, sure, to an extent makes sense, but also, at the same time, let me just get the thing more easily so that I don't have to whatever. I also love, they do particle effects here, which is fair. And, you know, not everything has to be super coded and whatnot. Really? You're still haven't... Jeez. No wonder they have me get a second upgrade for my wall. Is it like, yeah, we actually really sucked at doing this, but we're gonna make you pay to actually have your resources get collected. What is going on? Okay, what is Venom Shank? I'm assuming it's a poison sword, quote unquote. None of these things are ever worth it, yet I, for some reason, think that maybe if I try, it'll somehow actually be worth it. Also, what's the difference between a golden resource conveyor and a regular resource conveyor? The answer, probably nothing. Let's be honest. If nothing else, it just changes the color. Whew. Supply desk. Nope, still nothing. How do I get the stupid supply things? Whatever. Stairs. More stairs. Rope ladder. Is this where I have to go in order to get it? Again, some of the time, like, why am I going to think, oh yes, if I go in this direction and buy these things, clearly it will give me income possibilities. That's clearly where my mind is going to go, not to, why would I need stairs? Yep. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. I don't even have enough for the wooden crates. Oh, so this Thanos copter, it looks almost like Thanos copter. Everything is the same price. I don't know if that's because that actually means everything is going to be the same value, or if it's just they have everything the same price. We'll start with the sledgehammer and then work our way backwards, because hopefully that'll actually help us get more money. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, let's also just do this real quick. Also, this, like, the value of these is not real. Like, that was $77 there. This is jeez. Yep, clearly what I wanted, whatever. Like, I've seen some things like that before in Tycoons, where it's like, oh hey, you know, come and we'll have you XYZ. Actually, I can probably get the gem cleaner. That'll probably... I'm gonna cry. But I've seen some of those done before, but it's done in a way that has it so you, like, because the game is storing your passive income instead of just, you know, and in one of these it's more difficult because they'd have to do a calculation of averaging out what your average income is, since they are doing it via resource drops instead of being actual just, oh, you have this thing, your income goes up this much. Sledgehammers, right? Is it going to be an actual sledgehammer, or is it just going to be a box? The answer? It's a sledgehammer. Why is it going that way? That makes no sense. It makes no sense that I'm gaining money from... whatever. Whatever. Then again, maybe I'm losing money by doing that. Let's get the mine table so that things can actually be on it. Sure, I'll get crates. Totally worth it. Storage room. Sure, that's worth it too. 100% certain that getting these random things is worth it. Oh my goodness. Again, I probably should have just not streamed, but especially since I missed the entirety of last week. Also, that's a weird looking tent. Especially given the fact that there's not like a pole in the center. What's this again? Outfit security room. Whatever that's supposed to be. Okay, let's see how much. Like, none of these have broken 500 the entire time. Yeah, 56. 22, wow. Or 92, okay. I think the biggest issue with having it be like set values there, at a certain point there was no reason for me to go and do that. Because at that point, like, you know, assuming I start making however much per second. Again, it's not necessarily an actually per second because of the fact that it's a resource drop. How? I mean, it worked out because they got pushed, but anyways. But, you know, if it's done by resource drop, it affects it. But, you know, per second, I will eventually be making more money by just deciding to walk to an upgrade than I would by actually doing the thing here. Like, sure, yes, it's still additional income, but at a certain point it becomes so little in comparison to just not doing it that the only reason why you would decide to do it is because you're bored. Also, 10 rebirths. What are you smoking? You assume I'm gonna be playing this game for that long? It's not like you're adding interest in anything. You know, I'm thinking back to the Egyptian one that we'd done a little bit ago. You know, the reason that one was like you wanted to rebirth there because stuff just straight up couldn't be purchased without having to spend a crap load of time waiting for stuff. Versus in this sort of situation, and again, this is, I sound like I'm complaining, and to an extent I am. I'm not trying to just sit here and be a negative Nancy and, you know, oh, bad game and blah, whatever. I'm hoping that, you know, first off, the chances of the developer ever seeing this stream or when this goes on YouTube is basically zero. But no, like with all of these, the intent is not, oh, game bad, therefore whatever. I'm trying to just express where my frustrations as a player are, with the hope that, you know, people can learn from it and make better stuff. You know, now am I saying that, oh, it's because I know exactly? Not even remotely. Like, sure, I've played quite a few Roblox Tycoons. Were just idle games in my time. Doesn't mean I know what makes them good for any given player. Okay, star medals? Where the heck am I going for those? Is that down here? Maybe? But no, it's just like trying to give valid criticism with the intent of educating rather than just complaining. Because again, you know, we look at the Egyptian one, there were issues with that one. It's just that there were also quite a few things that were like, oh yeah, no, I could definitely see that being good for, and it's not like that's the only one that's done the, oh, things get really expensive, so that's why they then cause you to rebirth. Like, it's definitely not the first, and it will not be the last that does that. But I feel like that's a better gameplay loop of, you know, obviously get it to a point where, you know, have it so that you have to get to X point along the Tycoon before you can rebirth, because at a certain point, if you don't do that, it becomes an issue of players will either, like, new players will rebirth too early and will then be screwed over. Like, it'll take them longer to be able to get to where the average other player is in regards to just the worthwhile of the multiplicity of a rebirth. The other thing is just the fact that if you have rebirths from too early, at a certain point, because of the multipliers that people will get, you end up having it so that people can just go infinite. And so, I mean, and to an extent, that just happens with any sort of, okay, you reach this point and then your rebirths are able to be unlocked, and then as you progress through the game more, you'll get to that point faster and faster and whatever. But, you know, having the reason to say, oh, hey, like again here, 15 rebirths to upgrade the speed of this more than likely, that's, no one's going to play the game for that long. Like, sure, you'll have some people because they're children, but the average player is not going to go, oh yes, let me, again, the rebirth multiplier was times 0.2, I think, and that might change as you progress, but that's just not really worth it. Okay, here for instance 3, that's a little bit more manageable. But having it go, okay, things are going to get too expensive for you, so you'll need to rebirth to get the multipliers in effect, otherwise you're just not going to be able to do anything. You know, that makes sense. Again, though, this just being set values, I mean, I'm certain it's probably a float of, you know, this one's between this range and this range, and this one's between whatever. You know, I'm certain it's not just a like, oh, it's roll a dice and get one of these, but the fact that it doesn't increase as the tycoon progresses doesn't help things at all. Okay, last one of you. And then let's get... Yeah, because I'm clearly trying to get that. And I need that. You know, and in all honesty, most tycoons, I would say, even most idle games, like a mobile game, I would say probably at least 50% of players, maybe not quite that high, but a lot of players will play to the end of the tycoon, like the first end, and then they will never touch the game again. And then, to be honest, there's a lot of players who won't even get that far. Whether that be because the gameplay loop is boring, or just they find something else to do. Hello there. And so having some of these, like, rebirth gates, again, just kind of doesn't help things at all. Because who's going to go and say, oh yes, you know, we more or less have been playing this maybe like 5 less minutes than we've been streaming. Stream has been going on for 52 minutes, so we'll just say 45 minutes. We're 45 minutes into this. I've been doing decently, I'd say. Nice. Also, yep, definitely worth it. I've been doing decently about min-maxing the like income, not doing it to the best that you could do, but then again, half the time I don't know where anything is supposed to be and whatever. But you know, I feel like I've been doing okay in that regard. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here to increase, like, where do I find you? But you know, we've been going for, like, at this point almost 50 minutes, and we are a little over halfway done, you know, 56% of the way on just getting buttons purchased. And sure, that time, like, the time will decrease. Okay, whatever, we'll just have it on. The time that it'll take will decrease as we progress because we'll get the multipliers. But at the same time, you know, desk items, yep. I can't even read that. Is luminous and emits a red glow. Cool, that doesn't help me know where I'm supposed to go to actually get these resources. But so we assume that the average opal, I can't even, I'm not even going to attempt to read that, that's so zoomed out. Binocular barrel. Talking about a telescope? But just most of the time, you know, if we assume it's going to take an hour and a half to get the first one of these, who in their right mind is going to say, ah yes, let me spend well over like, it would be, again, if we're assuming 2 hours and then we slowly decrease that time, you know, instead of 2 hours, it's now 1 hour and 40 minutes. Well, I don't even think that's quite how that math works out if we're increasing our profits by 20%. But you get the idea. That's not going to be nearly enough so that, you know, no one is going to look at your game and say, I'm going to go spend the next 12 hours to get the upgrade up here. You know, no one's going to look at that and go, yes, this is a legitimate thing that I'm going to do. Coal. Yep, I know what coal is. No, that still doesn't tell me where the heck these stinking last resources in theory are. Then again, these resources that I'm trying to maybe find quite possibly just don't exist. I don't know if that's because I need to rebirth or not. And I mean, I shouldn't need to, given the fact that it has a specific spot on them listed for rebirth ones. Should probably save up for the lab entrance, because that's more than likely where they're gonna... Yep, 20 rebirths. That is gonna take you at least 12 hours. Like, the other... Like, I was maybe over-exaggerating a little bit in regards to other stuff, but no, for that many rebirths, you are taking over 12 hours. And, like, sure, if there was no other tycoon in this game, sure, why not? You know, why not go ahead and spend that long on it? Only issue is there are other games that people could play that do the same thing that this one does, just arguably better. Okay, let's... Have I not gone anywhere? Okay, how much is it for this armory stuff? Not a whole ton. Let's go take a look at that, I guess. I doubt that it's gonna actually do anything, but... Hat remover. Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Because that clearly worked in any regard. My clothes are going over it. Anyways. I mean, we'll get to a rebirth on this and maybe we'll do a little bit more, but I don't know beyond that. This is just kinda not... And again, like, in here, what am I... What... Why? Why would I go in there to do anything? Thing is, I'm probably gonna have to spend money in there to unlock the rebirth. Lab rail track. Hopefully that's what I need. My character model looks so scuffed right now. No, hat remover was down here. Can it remove everything? That is not a hat. What have you done to me? My body is not a hat. It's not how this works. Ugh. Ugh. That was me zoning out for too long. Oh, so this one actually has me alternating like semi-frequently instead of just sitting on a line for the entire time. And again, like, I gained 5,000. I gained 5,000. And sure, it means that... Also, why is there a security door here if there's a security door to get... whatever. Rebirth cart. Something tells me this wasn't supposed to appear until I got that, but it got programmed poorly. Also, when do I get to spin the wheel? Experimental stand. Oh, hold up. How much is this? Okay, that is a better deal than... Okay, sure, I'm climbing things now. I was wondering if that was going to be a better deal than this or not. Because in all honesty, I 100% saw it not being, and it was going to be like so much more expensive. Ugh. Like, why do I have to buy so many stupid buttons that do not benefit me in any regard? Riddle me that one, Batman. Riddle me that one. Because I really care about your stupid... Okay, I need 47 buttons. Woohoo. I also still have zero idea where I'm supposed to be going to find the last resource types. And I don't know if that's because they just don't exist until I whatever. Or what? Like, do I have anything else up here that I needed to buy? I guess could buy would probably be the more appropriate word. And again, when this becomes just... And I think this is one of the major issues I have with these types of tycoons. Maybe that's how I get the star or whatever. But the fact that this has now become a find the button so that I can buy the button so that I can finally move on. It's not a, oh hey, I can get this thing, which progresses me to this thing, which progresses me to more income and whatever. It's again just, oh hey, I need to go and find every button and buy every button so that I can, you know, have bought every button. How much was this? It was 12,000 for that. Whew. Insufficient funds to exist? Question mark. And sure, yes, you could argue, oh, go play the obstacle course. That's how you're going to, you know, spend the majority of your time, whatever. And I would argue that's stupid. Like, not that doing the obstacle courses is stupid. You know, it is a game, it is an element of the gameplay loop that I'm ignoring. The reason I'm ignoring it, though, is because of the fact that it takes forever to get to it. Like, most of the time, they'll have actual conveyors along the whole thing instead of just one tiny section. But alas, that is not the case here. And therefore, it is more difficult and not worthwhile to go and do that. Nope, that is purely an aesthetic thing. But maybe now I can... That just appeared, right? I'm not dumb. Need 8,000 for the lab conveyor, which is probably where I get the star resources, whatever. Binocular barrel. I guess they weren't lying. It is in fact binoculars on a barrel. Uh, 36 button. You know what, how about this? Let's attempt to go and get to and complete an obstacle course. Because I'm certain this is going to go so well. Whew. Cool, I now have a sword that you have to hold to get. Heh. Cool, I have a sword. I'm certain it does so much. Let's go and capitalize on the boost we have by purchasing this. And of course it doesn't even allow me to do things until I spend so much more money. Again, I think the thing that annoys me the most also with these, like, oh, get all of the buttons, is the majority of the time they're also the ones that have way too much focus on adding stuff for PvP. And so you're forced to buy all of these weapons that you are never going to use if you're not engaging in PvP. Let's figure out how difficult this one is. This is the forbidden obstacle course. Okay, I definitely didn't touch anything there, but pop off anyways. Also, oh, I actually do keep the sword. That's kind of surprising, not gonna lie. Most of the time, whenever those things happen, you definitely do not keep those things. Well, let's get this, I guess. And again, the fact that this is one of those buttons that I'm required to get, I'm certain that is not going to sell for nearly as much as you would need it to actually be worth. So you can't exactly see when it pops, but it'll hopefully pop enough that you can kind of see. But also at the same time, it really doesn't appear to do that. Maybe let's go and try to do... Ugh. 50 rebirths. Who in their right mind is going to play this game so long that they get to 50 rebirths? Yeesh. That is not okay. See, there I feel like I probably had touched something. Yet apparently I didn't. Oh my, I'm getting the electric power. Woohoo. That was also not all that difficult, but you know. So what I want to know, I'm going to try and get to this one real quick. I'll probably fail getting here, or I'll fail the actual obstacle course. Also, where are my things? I don't have my things anymore. If I do both of these, do I get big boost? Well, don't think I'd be able to get there in time to figure that out anymore. Oh my. Cool. Much wow. So much cool. I just love how the multiplier amount is the exact same. Someone didn't code that properly. I've got 10,000. $60,000. And that is going to again be a required button. I just, in all honesty, do not care enough. I do not care. Oh, why are you forcing people to pay to play this? That is a scam if I've ever seen one. Oh, because it's an official DreamWorks thing, it would appear. Or at least someone's trying to make it seem like it's an official DreamWorks thing. Let's see if... Ah, yes. Because clearly this is legal. Also, what the heck is this? I'm scared. I'm intrigued, but I'm scared. Am I gonna regret this? Probably. Settings, music, no. Who cares? And who cares? Apparently people are playing this thing though. So is it freaky because there's anything actually disturbing about this, or is it just a gotcha? Like, haha, we got you to come look at our thing. There, oh, it wasn't even a Tycoon, I realized it's a freaky simulator. Two-player gun factory tycoon? What the? Pop off. Pop off, I guess. I will say, arguably I could play things other than just Tycoons, but most of the time I don't have interest in things other than Tycoons. Buy a conveyor belt. Buy a sawmill. Excuse me. Is this wood count something I actually need to be concerned about? Yeah, going. It sells for 5. Cool. Also, I will say, see, okay, here. You actually unlock stuff with it, not just, oh, you now have whatever. These items give passive income. Furnish. So money and reverse is what's tracked in that. No. Also, you can turn arrows off. Yes. Manual woodcutter. Walls. Sawmill. Woodcutter. Skip this. No, we can buy another conveyor over here. I'm curious what this woodcutter is. I don't know if that's going to be... So is that just an additional generator? Wait, what? Go away. I don't care. Yes, it just produces additional wood. And it's worth... still just 5? I think it's still just worth 5. Which is fair enough. Wood polisher, there we go. That's an upgrader. Huge sawmill. Boing. There we go. Sure, I guess we can buy a path. Okay. 50 for a woodcutter. Buy research nuclear power. Nice. See, okay, here's the thing. Like, 23 rebirths. And I'm certain that this person has played this game for a long time. Like, how long? I don't know. But again, it's... and also, unlock underground mine. Something that actually gives value to a rebirth. is, hey, you've decided to spend enough time and effort on this game that you will get access to this environment that most people don't. Not even gonna give me like a cooldown something? Or do I have to wait for this to... I'm trying to see. Does that change anything? Nope, it just doesn't actually tell me when anything becomes available. Fair enough, I guess. Wood strengthener. Now that adds 10 per these things. Also, the other thing that this one kind of is showing that I'm really a fan of is this thing called running. Is the inability to run, even if it's like a very minute increase in speed, the ability to run adds so much to these sorts of things. Okay, that was unnecessary, but that's what I get for not fully reading things. And again, I'm not trying to harp on any one developer or any one Tycoon game. It's just a thing of, we just were playing a Tycoon that was subpar. Not necessarily bad, just a little subpar. Then we go to one here where my best guess is this, like, whomever developed this probably has some experience doing these sorts of things, like they've been doing it for a while, or it could just be like it was a team of people, or I don't know. And again, with any of the critiques I've had, the hope is that phaser. Oh, right, because this is passive income. So how often do you produce income? No idea. Or it might, it's probably still have to collect it here, but it goes up. Anyways. Sure, I'll buy another conveyor. Why not? The other thing that I feel is kind of, I don't know if I'd say evident of the type of like reasoning behind a game being made, but if we notice, like even in the shop, like sure there's a few game passes, there's a few other transactions, but the majority of, like, I have seen one, okay, there's a second, so 2 buttons, 3 buttons, 4 buttons that can actually, like, that you can run over to, like, pay real money. And they're not directly next to things that would, you know, be put there so that they can hopefully get you to press the button. And, or yes, 5. Again, not necessarily trying to be a dick. More just trying to point out where there are some flaws in, and it's, again, like I could go to a million different Tycoons and show you the exact same things happening. Like it's not hard in any regard. Because in all honesty, it's rare to find tycoons that are done well, with it being clear that the intent is user experience rather than monetization. Which is a little sad, to be honest, but at the end of the day, it's not like you can necessarily blame people for trying to make some money, because these things do take decent bit of effort and time to develop. I made my own Tycoon probably about a year or so ago. Now, did I ever actually publicly release it? No, I don't think technically it might technically be publicly released, but at the same time, it's such a bare bones thing that no one's going to play it. Why can I buy the... Okay, that was rude. But you know, like, I am well aware that these things take quite a bit of time and effort to develop and make, and so trying to get some money for the time you've put into something makes sense. It's more the arguably predatory way that it's done a lot of the time that kind of gets me going like, really? You know, I don't think we need to put, again, if we look at the last one we were looking at, you know, I don't think we need to put microtransaction buttons around every corner. And I'm not being facetious there. I think it was literally around basically every corner of that Tycoon. You could there was stuff to buy money. Now granted, I will say the pricing was not bad. Yeah, excuse me as I die. You know, the pricing I was not upset with. It was more just, again, the fact that it was kinda everywhere. Okay, so it's... I don't know if this is... like, we will be buying I think we will be buying everything is the idea here. And then we'll rebirth and get our second floor, which is this one, and this one, yeah. Again, and this is a way of that I prefer rebirths. If you're going to have additional content locked behind rebirthing, is make it cool. Instead of, oh hey, here's this button that you have access to seen since the beginning of the game. You'll end up just be accidentally walking over this, you know, a bunch of times as you just are playing, and it'll tell you every time, oh, you need to rebirth. And would I probably end up having, if I was to make a Tycoon at this point, that I'd have similar issues? 100%. Again, it's not like I'm trying to make myself seem high and mighty or greater than. I'm just a guy who's played a bunch of video games in his life and knows what to look out for in a positive sense. So we've got, okay, so we have 12 buttons. Can't quite get that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. I'm assuming probably some more stuff in here then. More than likely, at least. Okay, so that's 2.5. You are 1.2. That's a little bit more gettable at the moment. And this one's just 2, right? Yep. Huh. The other thing that I'm liking about this Tycoon, and this is an issue that I would say most Tycoons struggle with, is figuring out pricing of unlocks. Because let's be honest, the amount of times that you have Tycoons where it's, oh hey, go ahead and, you know, let's have you spend, you know, $10 on your first thing, or maybe even $100. And then they, you know, practically exponentially increase the price of things, and you're like, why are you making me sit around for so long to get basically nothing? Okay, so the only button I currently can see is this one. I don't know if that's because I'm not seeing any other buttons, or if that's because there are no other buttons currently visible. Also, again, sprinting is an amazing thing and adds to gameplay, even if it literally doesn't do anything apart from make you move slightly faster. I'm on the roof, but I also ain't got no roof because, you know, who needs a roof? What the? Dorime. Dorime. What are these called? By nuclear perfection and nuclear cutters. Nice. I'm going to buy perfection. So 2. Also, is this? So there's 5. I see 3 buttons over here. We can upgrade this to be nuclear. Spit it out, there you go. Because infusing wood with the power of nuclear energy increases its value by $5. So hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I just can't count at times. It would appear. Wait, hold up. Why the heck are we no longer on just... Why are things no longer just 5? This is... help. We aren't on simply multiples of 5, and I'm scared. Why do I have a 1 in my 1 spot? Somebody hold me. This isn't how it's meant to be. What if I incinerate myself? Does that... how much am I worth monetarily? Well, let's see. Your organs are worth... I'm curious, because we haven't gotten any of these nuclear perfection ones yet. I wonder how much of those are gonna increase. Let me ascend. Let me ascend. Wee. If I go far enough, does it loop back to my own tycoon? Doubtful. Although, actually, this might be a teleporter. Nope, it is not. I feel like that would have been a clever thing to do, though. Then again, I don't know how difficult it would have been to do that. Also, the wood count is at 0. I'm assuming that's just because I'm too far to render it. Does that mean, though, that my income died? Yeah, it doesn't look like it had. Okay, how much does this add? It's not telling me. Well, that's lame. What about on this one? Are you gonna tell me how much I gained from... I cannot tell. Anyways. Hold up, there was one more button than I thought that there was. Anyways. Rebirth. Everything resets. I die. Ah yes, give me my $0. But now we can unlock the second floor. Granted, we're gonna need a bit of... There's no lights. Help. Help, it's so dark. Because things are gonna drop down there, I would assume. Also, how much did it, in theory, 20% income boost? Because that then, how does that end up working out? Because these still are only selling for 5, right? Yeah. Not super certain where that income boost is coming from then. We'll figure it out though. It might be solely passive income. I think just the additional sawmill is going to be better for income maxing. Boing. I bounce around like a fool. This wasn't an option before, was it? This specific upgrader? Maybe, okay, I did just see 16. Interesting, I wonder if... I'm curious then if it just was taking a bit for the upgrade element to show up. Like the 20% boost or what? I do not know. Also, this thing I really don't think is worth buying at the moment. Because it's not like I was using it at all. I run. And so I run so far away. I run like a madman, doing things angrily because I'm mad. That's how that works, right? Button. I'm tired. Not like that's changed, you know, from the last 2-ish hours. I just thought I'd remind everyone, apparently. Yes, in fact, the streamer you are currently watching or not watching, because, let's be honest, I have Twitch says I have 1 viewer. I'd be shocked if that's actually accurate. But the streamer that you are watching is in fact still very sleepy and desiring unconsciousness. But I'm here anyways. Oh, her burner. Nice. Can I get an upgrader for that area, please? So I can upgrade the value of all of these. That would be nice. That'd be very nice. Wall. Sawmill. The other thing that's really nice though is the fact that I can walk over this. Never mind. I was gonna be like, I can walk over this and it won't be trying to make me buy things. I guess I just hadn't tried walking over anything without enough money before. Who knew? Excuse me. Passive income for the win. No, do I actually interact with these? No, I'm just a bit dumb, it would appear. Wee. If I run around like a dumbass, does it make things go faster? Probably not. But it's still fun. Also, what if I buy this conveyor wall before that one? They are in fact for the different sections. Oh, that's why there's some of these holes, because that would have an upgrader there if I got the pass. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, come on. There we go. Upgrade my wood. Make my wood better. And now all I'm thinking of is element animations. Where'd my wood go? Which, you know what? Screw it, we're gonna... I don't think that's on Spotify. I know it had been, and then it got taken down for DMCA, I think. Yeah, it looks like it's not there. Also, hold up. So apparently Your Door Was Locked, which is one of their better songs, has a smooth jazz version that they released. It looks like around Christmas last year. I'm curious. We're gonna give this a listen. We'll also play the original after. It's definitely a smooth jazz version. I don't know how to feel about this quite yet.
I'll tell you a story about a man.
It's so slow.
No one else quite like him across the land. This man has lots of presents in his hands. Take Taking them from your house was his plan.
Yes, you've been robbed.
One stop this criminal. Yes, you've been robbed. This is not
Also, I don't know if this is gonna get claimed on YouTube or not. Probably will. Been robbed.
It's just unthinkable. How could this happen so
Okay,
close
that is interesting, but that is way too slow. Let me pull up the original to kind of give you some idea of why I'm saying it's way too slow. What the heck is it called? Your door was locked. Jeez, 9 years ago. We're gonna just let this play in the background. He's got an animation, but that would definitely get claimed on YouTube. Again, you can tell how much faster this is.
I'll tell you a story about a man. There's no one else quite like him across the land. This man has lots of presents in his hands. Taking them from your house was his plan. Yes, you've been robbed. Yes, you've been robbed. Forgivable, that evil individual. This is just
I got exactly $500.
close to Christmas Day. He just took all of the presents and ran away. What do the police have to say? Please remain calm, we're on our way.
Pause. Oh, yes, let's go.
Someone stop this criminal. This is just forgivable. That evil individual. Yes, you've been robbed. We just found all of the presents that he stole. He's locked himself inside a house made of snow. Let's get some torches and watch the fire grow. We'll melt all of that snow and get him out. Let's go! Yes, you've been robbed. Your door was locked. Yes, you've been robbed. Let me go watch. Punish him tonight. Freeze him inside carbonite. Everyone he just confessed. Send him to the pit of death. The pit of death. Ow! Hello.
There you go. I am big fan of element animation. I want to find where. Let's just search that. I don't think. Okay, let's search because I know they've done a video on all of forbidden songs. Yes. Because they end up having a bunch of comments here. All sound effects have been removed, leaving only them. Because some of it is that they just had the music from one of their bigger videos that they'd done. And then they had... here's the explanation. The following songs were previously claimed by third parties. A lot of hard work went into them, so we're going to show them to you anyway. I want to know where my wood is. That was 2019. Jeez. But 500 chunks. This is their best song. And I love it. And we're just going to let it play again. This is probably going to get claimed on YouTube by both parties, possibly.
Well, I know I'm gonna go find all that what you stole from me. And when I wonder, well, I know I could have gone and got some more wood from that tree. And if I'm walking, yeah, I know I'm going, but I want my wood. It's with my wood. And when I'm farming, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's farming next to that gentleman over there. But I would walk 500 chunks and I would walk 500 more just to get back every single wooden block you stole from me before. Again, well, I know I'm gonna die. I will die because you've stolen all my wood. And when I'm blow up, well, I know I'm gonna hide, cause being out there would do no good. When I'm searching, I'm gonna search for everyone's inventory. When I'm exploring, well, I know I'm gonna find my wood, I'll even cross the sea. But I would walk 500 chunks and I would walk 500 more just to get back every single wooden block you stole from me before. Where'd my wood go? 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 Where'd my wood go?
If you can't tell,
well, I know that I will sink. I'm sink and then I'm likely going to drown. Yes. Well, I know I'm gonna see mine. Oh my god, it's my wood. You're unconscious. I'm gonna take my wood, I'm knocked out. When I run home, I've got my wood and it's my wood without a doubt. I've got my wood and it's my wood without a doubt.
Also, if this ends up like blocking the video on YouTube, I'm gonna cry because more than likely I'm gonna have to either completely cut this out or I'm going to have to like remove the song and it'll probably remove my singing as well, or it won't and it'll make it even worse.
Where'd my wood go? 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 But I would walk 500 chunks and I would walk 500 more just to get back every single wooden block you stole from me before.
Anyways, there's that. Again, I have no idea if I'm gonna have to cut this out when it goes on YouTube, or if you all get to experience the joy of that. Also, subscribe to Element Animations. They're cool guys. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think they'd posted a video recently. I think they did a villager news thing. I'm not 100% certain. It has been a long time since I've paid enough attention on YouTube to most things. Okay, can I get the conveyor? Thank you. Should probably start up the actual music at this point. There we go. Really, exactly what we need. Also, okay, so it does go all the way over there to then go down. Fun times. Okay, let's get everything we can here on this floor, and then we'll is there just a man on my thing? I'm not quite certain. There very well could have been, there very well could have not been, and I could just be going insane. Who knows? Imagine if I just got stuck there permanently. Just like, well, this is my life now. Perpetually moving towards nothing. We need 5.5k and then we can start moving upstairs. I will say, I hope that I can find some form of income collector up there, because otherwise, why was I climb? Boing. Okay, and then alright, it wasn't quite 2 on that one. Anyways, you get the idea. We're so close, we can almost get it all. Also, I apparently did not buy some things over here, so we're not quite as done down here as I thought we were. Though I think I do want to save up for this just because it'll be most beneficial to get that going first. Hopefully. Boing.
Yo, I got all 8s. If we were playing crazy 8s, that'd be great.
We're not though, we're playing Roblox. Also, I had a thought, and now it's left my brain case entirely. What the heck was I going to say? I don't know. Also, I'm trying to think. I know I started into why I was so tired today. I don't think I ever finished that, did I? There's a very likely chance I didn't. I guess to either recap or just actually say the information, because again, I don't know if I actually had said the information. Last night, jeez, my YSA ward had a activity where we went to Salt Lake using the train, which from Provo to Salt Lake is around an hour or so, just kind of period, but especially via train. And so we ended up going to the family search offices and did a little scavenger hunt thing there. You know, had a fun time, got food afterwards, but we ended up leaving, like, I got picked up to get to the train station at about 5-ish, and then we got back to the train station around, why did I do that? That was dumb. Anyways, around like 10-ish. I think I finally got home around like 10:15 or something. Far later than I would have wanted for the fact that I was waking up at 4:30, but you know, here we are. But so ended up doing that, and because of that, I obviously did not get as much sleep as I would want. No, I will say though, I'm very glad I went, because originally I had zero intention of going. I fully planned to just stay home and do nothing, in all honesty. Just because, again, I knew I'd be getting home so late. But then I went and tried recording the video that'll be going up tomorrow. And I got the video recorded and edited and uploaded within like an hour. Because of the fact that, for anyone who hasn't been watching my YouTube stuff, first off, subscribe, do it. But I went and I've been playing through Grease, the 2D platformer by Nomada Studios. I believe that's an actual... Okay, good. You should hopefully actually give me resources, correct? Correct? Shoot something out! Okay, there we go. But I've been playing through Grease, and then... you know, it was my first time playing the game. I had stopped the last video after the 4th section of the game. And, you know, I was thinking, okay, you know, we're getting to kind of the final area. We'll go ahead and we'll, you know, just have a good time playing the rest of that. It'll be great. And then I go and I load up the game. I start recording, and it was basically just a cutscene. Like, not a one cutscene, there was some gameplay too, but it was basically just all I needed to do was ever so slightly move my character around to just finish the game. The video tomorrow is just over 10 minutes long. Which, you know, for, again, anyone who hasn't been watching my videos, like, oh, 10 minutes, that makes sense, you know, for a video. And again, I don't want walls, I want things that give me money. The majority of my videos are at least 35 minutes long. Like, that's the shortest videos that I have. The majority of them are more like almost an hour, or at least 45 minutes. So that'll be fun to see if that gets engagement. But, so, you know, I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna be spending a couple hours getting this already, and instead I'm now completely done. So, mini conveyor. Nice. So I decided that I could go ahead and actually go to the event. And I think it was beneficial for me to go. Ended up talking with a bunch of people that I hadn't talked to before and whatnot. And if nothing else, maybe made some new friends. I will say it was kind of weird because we were talking about, like, the fact that I was being the mom of the group because I was getting head counts constantly because we all came in on the train. So if we all of a sudden don't have someone there, we're gonna be whatever. But, you know, there was a lot of, like, you know, jokes about, oh, PTA moms, soccer dads. And I made a comment to the effect of, oh yeah, the most I ever see myself being is, you know, the fun uncle. And a couple of the gals were like, what are you talking about? Like, you're such a, like, I can't even remember exactly what they said, apart from one of them said something along the lines of, you're such a catch, Jacob. I'm a catch, am I? I don't believe you. No, that's just inaccurate. I was like, you mean like catch feelings and then throw them away like a catch or release sort of thing? Or I didn't say, but I later realized another joke in that regard would be like catch a cold that you want to get rid of? Like, what are we talking about here? But yeah, no, so that happened. brought to their attention the fact that, yeah, I've never had anyone ever approach me dating wise. And I don't know if it's just they don't realize the fact that I, am the person I am or what, but it's sort of interesting to be like, you're gonna say me, the guy who has basically been a hermit for a long portion of his life. I don't know if hermit's quite the term, like it's not accurate, but you get the idea. I spend most of my day in my room on my computer, which the majority of people do not have interest in. And beyond that, there's also the fact that I'm divorced, and so therefore no one wants to date me because of that fact. That's a real big block of wood. But no, it's just, I know that I'm not unattractive. Like, I understand that fact. In all honesty, if I really wanted to, it would probably not be difficult to get into sex work. As disgusting as that sounds, not necessarily to try and say anyone in sex work is disgusting, just I have no interest there. Like, hey, if you gotta make money somehow and you got the means to do that in a safe manner, more power to you. Would I recommend it? Nope. Am I going to chastise you for it? Also no. But no, it's weird for people to try and, I don't even know if I'd say compliment, but almost like just attempt to fight my idea of who I am as a person, at least when it comes to that sort of thing. I'm like, how do you think you're gonna win this? Like, I am the person who has experienced everything I have in my life. I am well aware of how people behave. I'm well aware of, beyond how people behave, how they behave in regards to me. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in a week I'll be like, yo guys, I just got asked out on like 6 dates. Yeah, right. Would I be down? Sure. Is it gonna happen? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Just no way in hell is that happening. It's like, I'd be surprised if I got asked out on a single date ever, period. But, here we are. I also am needing to probably go to the bathroom. So, I'm going to see if I can get maybe 1 or 2 more. Let's get that one. Unless there's a better upgrader over here. Yeah, I think we'll get this one just because it'll affect everything up here. Unless I have enough for both. I do not. So we'll just get the one. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom. And then we'll continue to shenaniganize on here. So let's get down here. And I will be right back. So is this how like YouTubers or just people with passive income feel? They go to the bathroom, they come back to their computer, and now they're 36K richer? Not quite. I mean, then again, depends on who you are. If you're someone like Warren Buffett, probably. Okay, can we not climb on the wrong side of this? Thank you. Good heavens. Let me climb! Ugh. Also, the thing that's been... What? Huh? Is that actually gonna... Oh! Well, that's cool. Is that all of them now? What's with the Game Pass thing then? We'll make him green. Hold on, what are the Game Pass for that then? Is it this? Wood color? Just a VIP something? No idea. Oh, we can put, okay. I love how I also spent like I bought 3 things and I'm already out of money. Anyways. No, one thing I have been noticing that's been like, it makes sense, but it's still weird, is when I wake up in the morning to go to work, I end up, I'll normally on my walk to the bus stop and at the bus stop, so long as there's no one there, I'll just kind of sing whatever, because why not? I enjoy singing. It's a good way. Never bought that. Oh, sick. We can already get our next upgrade. Let's do it. Don't kill me, no. What just happened? I don't know. Anyways, so we in theory should have basically a 50% increase. Like obviously 40, but you get the idea. But you know, as I'm singing, I've noticed the fact that my voice is so much deeper in the mornings. I mean, I'm sick, granted, so that doesn't help matters, period. But just the fact that I'm hitting some notes that I'm like, well, I should not be hitting this. This is not a normal thing for me to be singing at. Oh, but no, that's always a bit of a fun one. And then again, been sick, so my voice is a little bit on the lower end, regardless. That is interesting. Okay, so second rebirth didn't unlock any areas, which, you know, granted, sure, not great, but at the same time. Okay, let's get you. At the same time, it's also only like, what is that, 20 more things that we need to get? It's more than likely the reason, though, that you want to rebirth at that point is because you're just going to take a while to actually get the amount of money that you need to upgrade further. Which, again, I like when developers keep that in mind. when the user experience comes first. Anyways. But no, I've been like singing more, and it's been weird to just kind of hit some of those lower notes that I'm like, why am I able to hit this? Although I think what's been the more interesting, funny, I don't know. Hello? Thank you. Is, when the heck did I drop 3,000 frames? No idea. Excuse me. But going and trying to sing some songs that I normally can hit like every note on, more or less. Then it's all of a sudden like, I'm having to sing like 3 octaves lower than I normally do in order to actually hit these notes. Give it. Oh, I just finished the last tissue. Wow. I don't know why. I've been struggling so much, like the past week, to actually speak English, I swear. I keep jumbling my words in the most random ways of just like moving around consonant sounds and vowel sounds in words. It's very weird and annoying. But no, I just finished the last tissue in my box, so I'm going to get a new tissue box because, yeah, and I probably need to ask my parents if they have any extras so I don't have to buy tissues myself, because that's never fun, because spending money on things that you don't necessarily have to because you can mooch off your parents. Granted, mooching is because they tell you to mooch off of them, so don't come at me. Oh, and these tissues are so much softer. Okay. Okay, did I? Nice, I just spot like all of those at once. Go me. I'm also trying to determine right now if we just keep playing Roblox, because I'm 100% down to just keep playing Roblox. It's more just a thing of I don't know if I'll have enough things to just talk about. Hey, good heavens, why is this so loud? Is it actually loud? Am I just being sensitive to sound right now? Who knows? Oh. What I do know is I should probably go get food somewhere. Ugh. I mean, I say that as if I don't have food in the house right now that I could semi-easily make. I just don't want to, because making food is bleh. I enjoy cooking, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy making meals and whatever. Mostly the annoying thing is washing dishes. I have like one pot, and so anytime I want to make anything that requires a pot, I have to wash my pot. And when I, make mac and cheese, and then all of a sudden I don't actually, spend... Probably should have waited. Actually, can I just... Okay, I can buy lights. They're expensive, but I can just buy them straight off the bat. But, you make mac and cheese, and it's been a couple days, so then you go to wash it, and you're like, well, now this thing has to soak for, 5 minutes before it can actually wash effectively, and bleh. You get the idea. It's not overly fun. Oh, excuse me, what demon just tried to escape my body there? I will this morning at work, I all of a sudden had like a really upset stomach. And I was really concerned. I'm like, is this because I haven't been eating enough? Is this because I need water? Is this because I'm tired? Whatever. I went and like put some dishes in the dish pit area. And then I just burped like 7 times or something like that. I was like, what in the world? You know, like, geez, can I maybe not? Eventually, you know, last couple come out, and then I'm like, oh, my gut feels fine. I guess that's why it was angry at me. Gas. Whoa. I will say the most annoying thing about this cough is it's just perpetual, I think. Like, I'm not going to say I'm 100% over being sick right now. You know, I'm certain that I got a little bit of that sickness in me still. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, can I not be coughing constantly? Also, sorry for basically just shouting into the microphone. My mic stand is just being dumb, and so I'm needing to adjust it so that my mic doesn't fall over, because that's bad. Also, I got a comment. I deleted it because I really just didn't... Let's be honest. I deleted it because I was annoyed at the time, and also was curious if the guy would make comment on the fact that I deleted his comment. He didn't. I don't think he cared. He just wanted to be a bit of a pill. But I'd gotten a comment on one of my VOD videos the other day. I say the other day as if this was like probably over a month ago at this point. Maybe not quite that extreme, but it's been a couple weeks. And my man's was like, how is your audio so bad? You have a SM7B. Like, how are you messing it up so bad? Like, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was only like 1 or 2 sentences. But man's is like complaining so much about, oh, your mic sounds terrible and whatever. I looked at the video and I'm just like, it doesn't? Like, am I gonna say that it was the best quality and that I've ever had in a stream or yada yada, whatever? No. But it's not like it was atrocious. It's not like it wasn't able to be watched because the audio was so bad. It's just Mans wanted to complain on a video because Mans was playing League of Legends. In that regard, I swear Riot is trying to turn everyone into furries. Because they're releasing their new champ, Aurora. Okay, yeah, why does that one double? Whatever. But they're... I think she's going on PBE probably like Tuesday or something. Pretty soon they're going to be having her on PBE. Because they've been doing... Because initially Hearthhome happened on the client. Which that wasn't intentional, I don't believe. Because more than likely it was supposed to be a thing of either like this patch that we just had last week was when it was supposed to come out to be like a little mini teaser before her actual teaser stuff came out. Or it even could have been that it was supposed to drop like more than likely this next patch once they're putting her onto PBE, but they just fumbled the bag, I guess, which happens so often at Riot. And I don't know if it's just because they're really bad about making certain that their employees aren't leaking stuff, or if it's just they're really bad about not putting stuff out. I don't know. But so the new champ is, you know, it's a Vestayan top laner, I think. Aurora is her name. And in the champion roadmap dev blog that they'd made, if you were to use every letter in the every first letter of the words that they had in like the header thing for her, it read out as rabbit. So we were able to figure, okay, so it's going to be some form of rabbit vastaya. And you know, again, that doesn't necessarily mean Riot's trying to make everyone into furries, but no, the fact that they released all of her stuff initially without like any of her Vastayan features visible until like the very end of the teaser Hearthhome event. Like, I don't know, man. If nothing else, I feel like they're trying to make me into a furry because they're making a character who is a redhead top laner. And just, I don't know, man. I do not know, although I don't know if it's because they, give me one sec, I'm gonna pull this up. I don't know if it was that they intentionally put it out or not. Because again, they today had posted her like teaser on Instagram. But they either accidentally or purposefully released her splash art. Hey, just pull up the stinking image. Good heavens. Whatever. And so here's that. You know, very whatever, cute is how I would describe it, if nothing else, and just also, you know, looks interesting. I will say I'm very glad that they opted for not having her basically be half nude, because I could 100% see them doing that given some of the champions they've released. I mean, at least it wasn't a male champion, in which case we would have 100% had no shirt on, but because if we go to Aurora Instagram here, not what it, Aurora League of Legends, how about that? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, can we actually just, I would like the action. Jeez, I swear, internet, you are so dumb. Is this going to be? Okay, let's just get to the actual League of Legends account. There we go. Let's get the music paused. So, they released this.
See only half of the world.
Yeah. Maybe don't start into.
Most people see only half of
whatever.
The world. The places they find
also
barren
voice
and broken can be fascinating and
very fun.
Teeming with life.
You know.
My research will help them see.
Again, like so stinking cute. Why do you do this to me, Riot? Why do you make me look like a furry?
The whole view is so much greater.
This game can only add soft female and femboy champs. When was the last badass
Most
champion?
people see only half.
And then they released some other promotional whatever. It's Instagram. But no, I'm looking forward to her release. I'm hoping that her gameplay ends up being good. Because if her gameplay is good, that means that there is a high likelihood that I'll be playing her for a fair bit. Which again, call me a furry and I'll sucker punch you. I don't know. Thing is, I will say, I feel of anyone who is going to like be reaping the consequences of this champion the most, it's going to be not Necrit, Dums. I feel like Dums is going to play her once and be like, oh wow, she's a cool champion, and maybe try playing her again, and you know everyone is going to be eating into him. Just like, this is confirmed, Dums is furry. Say as if I don't play Lilia myself. Again, I swear, Riot is just trying to make everyone look like a furry. Okay, but no, I'm looking forward to it, because if nothing else, I'm hoping that maybe she's got interesting enough gameplay that I'll play the game again. I haven't played League really in a hot minute, and that's a combination of having no time to, because good heavens. Imagine what happens when you're making content a lot and you're not making content on a specific game. You don't necessarily play that game. Plus, I don't have anyone to play with, so that also doesn't help. Pad. Conveyor. Don't need that. I keep doing that because I'm an idiot. Anyways. But no, I'm looking forward to her release. And I'm hoping that it goes well. The one thing that does have me kind of confused, I guess, is the fact that, you know, she's going to be releasing, I think it'll end up being on the patch that the summer event starts. And Riot had put out the teaser for Anima Squad stuff. And, you know, they had Yasuo, Illaoi, Seraphine, and Yuumi were the champions who you heard. I think Aatrox also was in there, but I didn't necessarily fully realize that until I'd watched a couple like videos that people had put out. But, you know, it's a lot of champions, obviously. That's kind of how that works. But I'm very interested to see, because that will then be, you know, Aurora's first skin is going to be an Anima Squad skin. They're giving the Rabbit Girl a skin in the skin line that is make champions kind of associated with animals. Which in that regard, how are they making Yuumi into an Anima Squad? But whatever. So that's just going to be really weird, because it's like, okay, so is she just going to be a Rabbit Girl? Because that wouldn't make a whole ton of sense, given the fact that the Misfortune skin is like Bunny, Battle Bunny Misfortune. Oh yeah, I got a thing over there. So I'm interested to see how Riot tries and pulls that off. I swear this thing is lagging or something. But no, I'm hoping it goes well. I'm hoping to try and play League more, but I swear. I joined a club at BYU. And it's called the like esports club, and I think they do have like all of their esports teams are associated with it. But you know, I mostly joined it because, oh hey, guess what, there's people playing League of Legends and other such games on it, so hopefully I can meet some people and talk to them, whatever. And I go in and I like just, you know, hop in a Discord chat as people are playing games and they're streaming their gameplay, and then it's, oh hey, would you look at that, everyone's in Emerald. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, fun, I am not that. I think the lowest I realistically saw anyone ranked was like plat. So I'm just like, I arguably might be able to play at that level. I just A, am out of practice, B, do not want to play ranked. Ranked is hell, and everyone knows it, yet everyone still subjects themselves to playing ranked, which is just not a thing I'm looking to do. But who knows, maybe Aurora comes out and I really enjoy her gameplay and I become an Aurora one trick and, you know, life goes on. We'll see. Likelihood of that, low. Possibility of it being 0, obviously not. If nothing else, maybe it'll remind me how fun the game can be, and then I'll get into a ranked game and be like, wow, why am I playing this game? We'll see. We shall indeed see. What else we're looking at? At this point, I really feel like it wouldn't be a good idea to swap games around, but I'm also, the one thing that I'd kind of mentioned this on Monday is that Roblox is really good for the fact that I can kind of just shut my brain off and talk, but at a certain point I don't have anything to talk about, so like help. Which then again, the hope is to actually have viewership at some point in time. But then again, it's not like I haven't dealt with having no viewers before, you know, when that's been the majority of my Twitch career. Who knows, maybe I just need to do another like lore stream and see how that goes. Just be like, hey, for everyone who hasn't been here for the past 9 years, here's all the information you need. I will say though, I'm very glad that I finally have gotten through all of the videos, or through all the streams from the apartment me and my ex were in, because I'm just like, I don't want to have to deal with that. Because boy howdy hey, am I ready to just not have to associate with that part of my life ever again. If I don't have to associate with it ever again, it'll be too soon. Will I have to at some point? Yeah, welcome to life. But I'm doing my best to move past it. Anyways. In 3 we need 51. Also, I can't remember, I don't think I've mentioned it on stream. One of my coworkers, my supervisor even, pointed out the fact that one of my, you know, everyone has quirks in their speech patterns. But one that she mentioned to me, which I have not like super self-conscious, but I've definitely become aware and therefore slightly self-conscious about, is the fact that I use the term in theory far too much. And it is, I don't know. It's not like it's terrible, and it's not like it really affects what I'm trying to say if I use the term. But it's just annoying that now I'm aware of it. Sort of like how, you know, the whole, oh, you're breathing manually, your tongue isn't resting in your mouth comfortably, yada yada. But, you know, it's that sort of thing of once you become aware of it, you're just kind of like, I didn't want to have to think about this, but now I'm going to always think about this. You know, a couple months back, I'd had a friend mention the fact that, oh, it's kind of funny because your go-to, like, response phrase is fair enough. Excuse me. Which, again, I look at that now, I'm just like, why did you have to make me aware of this fact? I don't want to be aware of the fact that I have weird speech patterns sometimes. Quirks to the way that I communicate with people. You don't have to inform me of these things. No, it's not like it's actually affecting me negatively in any meaningful capacity, but it's just like, I don't want to have to think about this, but now every time I'm going to, that was dumb anyways, but now every time I say fair enough in any context, whether it's just casual conversation over text is the one where it's become very apparent, where it's just like, yeah, I do use that a lot. But hey, deal with it, I don't know. If you can't handle me at my fair enough, you don't deserve me at my well, actually. Was that worth spending the time to do? Probably not, but I did it regardless. Like most things in my life. Also, this is a very dumb joke, and it doesn't make sense given the fact that the like parameters for the joke to occur are not currently the case. But last night, as we were getting off the train, there was a bunch of clouds kind of obscuring the moon, and I was kind of in the front of the group, so I ended up, you know, I made a joke of, oh hey, who put the moon out of focus? Which, you know, I got a couple chuckles out of people. And then after probably like 2 minutes had gone by, and the back end of the group had like started to get to where the rest of us were, and I'd heard someone mentioning something about the moon looking weird. And so I repeat the joke of, oh, you know, that's what I was asking you, who put the moon out of focus? At which point, you know, now everyone who hadn't heard the joke before was, you know, chuckle here and there. But one of the guys in the group who had heard it both times was like, hey Jacob, that joke landed twice. And I couldn't help myself. It was like, oh, you unlike us on the moon, because, you know, Apollo 13 and all that. Is it dumb? Very much so. Is it funny? Maybe. Did I get a chuckle out of it? Yes. I feel like that's something that I do far too often, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a why is I'll repeat jokes just because of the fact that I'm like, other people found this funny, and so I'm riding the high of people thought my joke was funny, let me try using it again even though the circumstances aren't the same. You know, just things that you do. You're at just about where we were before. Also, another thing I'm realizing of why I like this Tycoon so much more than the other one, beyond other stuff that I'd said, is basically every upgrade is also a monetary upgrade. Like, everything I'm buying up here, apart from like the occasional, you know, oh hey look, I bought walls, everything has actually helped to increase my income. Granted, it's not like it's by a whole ton, you know, and because that's the way that it's working, the game isn't. That was a spawner. I thought that was going to be an upgrader of some nature. Fair enough. But you know, because you are gaining income through everything you're buying, the developers obviously made it so that everything isn't as potent in the upgrade to your income. Excuse me. But I'm very glad at the fact that oh, because he has more money. I was like, how the heck is this guy? But no, I am very glad that it's, again, though, I can, basically anything that I purchase is going to positively affect my ability to gain money. Which again is helpful when it comes to causing your players to have a good experience. And again, I'm not meaning to harp on, you know, the one that I happen to play today. It's just that's the freshest thing in my mind, so it's what I'm comparing this thing to, because this one, again, I would say is one of the better Tycoons that I've played. Is it the best? Not necessarily. But it's definitely pretty good. I will say an idle game that I really enjoyed, haven't played it in a hot minute. I don't even know if my progress would be saved. I'm trying to remember what it's called, because I know the other version of it, I remember that one's name. Is it? Hold up, let me look this up. I think I'm remembering what the name is, but I want to confirm. Not Spotify, that's not going to give me any information, is it? Oh, it was that, wasn't it? Okay, yeah. No, the game that I'm thinking of right now is Crush, which, for anyone who has played it, you already know exactly why you'd play it. For anyone who hasn't, Crush is a idle game, you know, as I said, but it's an idle dating game. Where basically you have to, the main, I guess, gimmick, for lack of a better term at the moment, of it is you have whatever they're called, like time tokens, I guess. Basically you only have so much time you can allocate to different activities, and each activity requires a different amount of these tokens, whatever. And so you have to spend tokens to improve skills, to gain income in certain fields, or just to like go on dates with girls, which those don't take all that much time, but you need to have like 6 in order to go on a date with a gal. And you know, obviously, again, it was a dating sim. You can imagine why I was installing it, because I was lonely and wanted to I guess feign to have a faux relationship, but also not really, because I knew that wasn't the capacity that the game was meant for. But no, that one was actually really good. Because if nothing else, it was just inventive in the way that it went about like having, again, the time mechanic. The other version that I was talking about is called Blush Blush, where it's all guys, which Markiplier actually had made a video on, because one of the characters is very heavily based off of him. Not necessarily to the point of, like, legal action would be taken. I mean, I don't think Mark would have cared. Again, he played the game. And even if he tried, I don't know if there would technically be enough there to have legal action be pursued. Regardless, though. So if you want context for the mechanics of the game, you can go find that video from probably like 2017 or something. But I think I probably sunk a good... I actually can probably see, because I have... My phone has a, like, gaming hub. It's a Samsung. And they have it that you can... Yeah, that it tracks your playtime of things. So, Crush in-game time... Jeez. Kind of embarrassing how much, but anyways. In-game time, 28 hours and 24 minutes. Which is not the longest I have on an idle game on this phone. That's 71 hours. Then again, I finished that idle game, so... Well, I don't even think that's the most that I had on an idle game period, because I think I had over 100 hours in another one, but I think I also fell asleep a couple times while playing it, so anyways. Where are buttons? Wood magnifier. Cool. How many buttons do I need? I was gonna say... I'm assuming there's probably an area that is going to become unlocked for me. But no, again, very fun game. Okay, where in the world? I do not currently have anything that I can purchase, so let's try and get some more money. This is 3 that I need, right? Yeah. What? I am confused. Huh? What? There's nothing over here, right? Yeah, nothing over here. Nothing over here. Oh, here we are. It just was there. I see. I was wondering if we were going to get another floor, and the answer is yes. It just wasn't overly easily visible. Come on. Okay, let's get some more income going. Again, beacon to the sky. Sure, we can buy a railing. Why is this here? Because that looks like the path stuff even. Excuse me. Buy alien wood shredder. That's what they called me in high school. I'm a child. Up we go. Alien cutter. Ah, because it's pink. Is that what the actual wood color is? Or, I mean, obviously I don't have the color filter on. I just also don't know if I can turn that off. Is there an off button? No, there's just the put it back to that button. I will say, this is one, I know I'd said the same thing for the Egypt one. This is one I think I might actually go back to on a later stream. Now, will it be the entirety of that stream? Hopefully not, but we'll see. Let's get an upgrader. Any other upgraders that I can afford? Yes. Mega sawmill. I'm trying to determine, we might... I want to stream for 4 hours, but again, I'm running out of things to actually talk about. So we might end stream after this next rebirth. Which I feel like we're a decent bit through this, and so it makes sense. The other thing that'll be nice if I don't switch up games is the fact that I don't have to edit this stream unless copyright. Which again is pretty likely, but we'll see. I will say it's kind of funny to be almost like not treating streams like they're YouTube videos, because A, they're very different. There's a lot more diarrhea of the mouth that goes on here versus, oh hey, help people experience a game, which in all honesty is something that I feel is very underappreciated in the YouTube, like, gaming content creation sphere. Because for me, the majority of the reason why I watched anyone I did, at least as a like kid slash early teen, whatever, the reason why I really stuff falls out, that's dumb. Anyways, but no, like the main reason I would watch any given channel continually was the fact that they would play games that I was interested in myself, but I couldn't play. Now granted, there is like some of that even as an adult, kind of. I feel like most of the time though, it's more a thing of like, you'll go and you'll either use a YouTube video to kind of help yourself gauge, do I want to spend money on this thing? Or, you know, obviously the hope is that you're also watching people because you're enjoying the content they produce because of their personality or their editing style or whatever the case is. At least that's what I hope that I can have people watching my content for, instead of just watching my content to rage bait me or get pissed at me. Oh boy, does that happen. Anyways, but no, I feel like that's something that I at least really appreciate, is when people will, like, I think I experienced the entirety of Portal 2 by finding a video of someone doing basically just a long play, no commentary on it as well, which I will say, those definitely are valuable, but I don't think it's a sustainable business model. Anyways. But no, because though I do value that, I definitely try and, you know, obviously not just play a game and, you know, not talk on all during it, but try and allow people to kind of experience the game as well with me. you know, and I do that as well just here on Twitch. For instance, like we played the entirety of Lotl not too long ago, or that sort of thing. Also, how many more buttons do I need? I feel like that's more buttons than I will have access to, but we'll see. Oh, I mean, I'm also gonna just wait till the 1800. Here we go. You know, like we played through the entirety of Lotl not in one stream. You lied, or you lied. Someone is lying to me. You know, and I do very much enjoy those streams where it's basically just play through an entire game and then, you know, go from there. Oh, you're an upgrader. Very nice. Alright, oh, I do have these, so that's probably the majority of where I'm getting that from. Anyways. Probably also gonna have a roof, given the fact that I'm going out and then down. But no, but because of the fact that I'm trying to approach YouTube videos, at least on the main channel, to more of a, like, experience a game with me, more than just, oh hey, watch me, and also we're playing games. Because I try and take that approach, you know, sometimes I will go a decent bit of time without actually talking. Prime example would be, whatever it was called, Behind the Frame, I think? Where in all honesty, I thought that was going to be a 2-video game, and then I ended up playing the entirety of it in 1 video, mostly because I didn't realize how short it was. Anyways. You know, I definitely had quite a bit there where it was just like, I realize I'm probably not talking a whole ton here. But it, you know, it's one that I want to help people experience because, you know, I fully believe that if you enjoy a game, whether you think you're going to play it or not, hold up, are you how all the other ones have been in that regard? Yes, anyways. You know, I think that it is good to support, especially indie developers, by, you know, if you watch a video that's the entirety of a game, go, and if you enjoyed it and you have the ability to, go and spend money on the game yourself. Not in a like, you should play every developer, but more in a just, you know, it's good to show support to things that you enjoy so that those things can continue to be made. You know, again, to an extent, I do feel a little bit bad whenever I do have those sorts of things where, you know, realistically the game's kind of an hour-long experience. You know, I think there's a bunch of achievements that I ended up not getting, but still. The game realistically only took about an hour or so to completely finish the story. Assuming it's going to be this and then ceiling? Yep. Roof, that would be the term. Anyways. But, you know, in all of my YouTube videos that go on the main channel, I will always put the game link in the description. You know, sometimes I might be playing it on a different platform than I put the link in. I always put the link on Steam unless it's not available there, whatever. But, you know, again, I think it is very valuable to support things in a monetary fashion when you enjoy them. Because, again, it's a way to not only incentivize people to, you know, do things that you enjoy, and then, like, you get things out of the fact that that happens, and they get things out of the fact that that happens. Also, we now have both of these unlocked. So is this gonna be 7 then? So just 6, okay. But yeah, no, it's, I mean, I remember I had gone and when I was working at Domino's, I'd mentioned to a coworker, why in the world, someone's spawning in or something?
Gregory?
But I'd mentioned, you know, the fact that I really like Hollow Knight. And they're like, oh, you know, maybe I'll go play that game. I'm like, yeah, no, it's super cheap. It's only like, you know, $15 and that goes on sale. And he's like, oh, no, I'll just pirate it. Because apparently that's all he ever does, is, you know. He was like, oh, yeah, no, I just pirate games, whatever, because then I don't even remember what his quote-unquote reasoning for it was. But looking at that, I'm just kind of like, I can understand, like, the reason someone would want to pirate something. You know, whether it's a financial situation or, like, distribution. Again, I think it's... Is Gabe Newell the name of the Valve guy? I can't remember. I know it's Gabe. I can't remember his last name. Anyways. You know. Guy's been touted for saying, or touted as, I think is the term, regardless. You know. He'd mentioned the fact that, yeah, piracy is a distribution issue. Anyways, though. But I feel like, again, if you are in well enough of a financial situation and you do genuinely really enjoy something, support the person or people who made it. Excuse me. It's like, you know, for instance, you have currently riots under fire because of the Ari skin that they're having a whole debacle about, because good freaking heavens, paying $500 for a virtual skin is ludicrously stupid, especially given the fact that you can spend $300 and get a physical statue. Anyways. But you know, like, there's a reason people say, oh yeah, pay with your, like, not pay with your wallet, vote with your wallet. Because it does genuinely make a difference to numerous degrees if you go and spend money on something that you find value in. You know, because, for instance, let's say someone goes and decides, hey, I'm gonna make X thing. I'm gonna make X thing target Y audience, and, you know, try and get some income out of it, because it's gonna take a lot of investment on my time to make the thing, to distribute the thing, whatever. And then, you know, assuming the thing is good, and, you know, the person is also a good person, which then that's a whole other argument, but regardless, you know, let's say, you know, the thing that's coming to my mind right now, which I think is also a good example of how to approach dealing with piracy, is Moist Critical has his comic book series that apparently, I don't know a whole ton about it, but I'd watched one of his videos. I think it was when he was talking about one of the Switch emulators that was getting under fire by Nintendo. Regardless, he mentioned the fact that, yeah, no, we had a lot of people pirating the comic, but because it then became readily available, people who were, you know, getting it for free through these pirating services ended up saying, oh, hey, I really like this thing, I want to support it. And then they went and purchased something, like purchased the comic or merchandise or whatever the case was. And so I feel like that's, like, obviously it's not like I'm pirating games that I'm uploading onto YouTube, but I feel like that's a similar sort of thing of, you know, if you experience something that you feel like you want to see more of, or you just genuinely want to support, a lot of the time you can do it financially. And again, I'm not saying everyone has to. I understand wholeheartedly that financing is such a nightmare most of the time. So, you know, I get it, but I do my best to, and I hope other people do their best to go and, you know, if they genuinely, oh, I realize why the, like one more button thing has been going on, because this thing keeps duplicating. Anyways. But no, it's good to support things that you enjoy, is the general gist of what I'm trying to get at. And to a certain extent, now I will never advocate for piracy, because bad. If nothing else, I don't want X, Y, and or Z company coming for my throat because you advocated for blah, blah, blah. It's like, for instance, technically, the copy of Minish Cap that I played on stream, and again, Nintendo, do not sue me, do not discredit me as an individual because of this, is pirated. Because I found it when I was a teenager and, you know, wanted to try the game out. At this point, yeah, I'm paying for everything. I am not currently, but I do pay for, you know, the Nintendo Live, or whatever, Nintendo Online, that's what I'm looking for. Which, hey, imagine that. That allows you to have access to Minish Cap. Which also then, that's a whole other question of, you know, obviously, again, don't pirate if you can avoid it, because, you know, piracy bad. The other element to that is also, if you can't get it through a legal distribution of any nature, for instance, like, I don't know if there is currently a way to actually obtain a copy of, like, whichever the game is, Nintendo Red and Blue, without it being from, like, eBay. Yet again, Nintendo will, you know, go up your ass if you end up pirating it at all. Because, oh, how dare you, you know, not spend money on this game that we wouldn't see any of the money that you spent on it. Which again is just really stupid. It's really stupid. It's like, again, not necessarily advocating for piracy. If you want to support something or just want to experience something, be willing to pay. But also, I swear companies at the same time are so asinine about, you have to pay for this thing in a legal blah 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 whatever, and it's like, okay, but there's no way to legally obtain your thing that's not through a third party, so therefore why can't I go through a third party to obtain it? You know, again, technically at that point it's not necessarily illegal, like technically it is, technically it isn't, whatever. But, you know, it's like, okay, so why am I forced to spend an exorbitant amount of money on a third party where you will then never see a dime of the money I spend, yet you will ostracize and, like, eat into me as an individual if I obtain it in a way that isn't whatever. Which again, that's its whole own debacle of companies trying to garner some semblance of control, I guess. I don't know how else to try and look at that in any other way. It's like, if I could legally purchase, like, again, Pokemon Red and Blue, and play it on official Nintendo hardware that I own that is not from a third-party scalper, essentially, you know, I'd do it. I can't, so I have a ROM that I downloaded when I was like 12. That if I ever decide that I want to play that, there you go, that's how I'm going to play it. In all honesty, I should probably stop talking about this, because again, if for some reason, you know, 3 years down the line, Nintendo is like, oh hey, TallBoy Jacob is an influential individual on X platform. I swear though, I am never calling Twitter X, it's just, you get the idea. You know, oh, is there anything about him that we'd want to know before possibly reaching out for any sort of whatever? And then they look and they find this VOD of what he said to blah blah blah. We can't possibly have that. Anyways, I just love how I was like, oh, let's stop stream after whatever it's called, next rebirth, and then I have not done that. Oh, anyways. Although it is definitely at a point where I should probably actually end stream, because if nothing else, I'm talking about things that could get me in trouble later in life. Fun times. Fun times. I think let's finish the first floor just because we can, and then we'll... I want to see the most cost-efficient thing is to probably go upstairs and start working on that. So instead of subjecting myself to even more Roblox, again, not that I'm not enjoying this, more just the fact that I'm like, I have nothing to talk about, and the things that I'm starting to talk about again could get me in trouble later down the road. Anyways, we are going to go ahead now and end stream. If y'all enjoyed, feel free to go ahead and whatever that terminology is, follow here on Twitch. Make sure to go into the panels down below, and you can find links to Twitter and the VOD channel and the main channel, where we're uploading obviously VODs that go live here on Twitch, give or take. They're currently going live a day or two after they're done, but it also depends on whatever. For instance, if I have to edit a video, it's going to take longer. For instance, if it's not before the 26th of July, we'll also not have this go live in the next couple days, because we still have a slight backlog to get through. Anyways, I mean, by the time you're seeing this video, more than likely videos are coming out basically every day or two after they're streamed. Regardless, regular channel, we're also getting content uploaded onto. Just finished Grease, which that video is going live tomorrow. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. We will be live again on Friday. I will hopefully have enough sleep that we can do some Vacation Simulator, because I do want to try and do that. Oh, also, I got this for my birthday. It's a little, like, pop play thing, whatever, keychain. And I just want to show, so this is how it looks when, you know, it's flat and, you know, regular. When I pop every single one of these out, look at how much of a curve that makes. Anyways, that is going to go ahead and do it for me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whatever the case may be for you. Till next time, remember to stand tall, reach upwards. And yeah, Friday, if I get enough sleep and I'm up for it, we'll do Vacation Simulator, just because I have been enjoying that and want to play more of it. Anyways, though, that is going to be it. Hope you all are staying safe, staying sane, all that good jazz. Until next time, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.